Finally. What time do you call this?
Well, it's earlier than I might have been. But on the other hand, it's later than I expected.
Are you being profound?
He wishes.
I'm sorry. Please ignore my droid. Is there a problem?
Yes, there is. We're in the midst of a disaster. A meltdown. Somehow a bird got in and made a total mess. And the official cleaning team is indisposed. On today of all days. I, P4RT, have been delegated to resolve this issue. For your own well-being, I invite you to call me T. I hereby subdelegate the task of cleaning this area to you and your droid.
Actually, I'm just here to speak with Officer Orana. Can you tell me where she is?
Officer Arana is occupied in the control room right now, not to be disturbed. In fact, she's even locked the elevator. Not that it's any business of a cleaner.
Maybe we can start with cleaning the control room.
The control room demands a top-of-the-range cleaning team. And I very much doubt that rust bucket is up to the job.
Hey, this isn't rust. These are janitorial scars of honor.
He may be old school, but he gets the job done.
Either way, you're going nowhere till this whole area is spotless.
You won't be disappointed. Right, Joey?
Spotless is my middle name, Foster.
You will remember, of course, to uphold all ministry regulations. Cleaners must be uniformed and accompanied by a cleaning droid.
I'm right here, you know.
Yes, and will be expected to be silent. Kindly remember your place. Please return when everything is in order.
T was a stickler for the rules. To have any chance of getting that travel waiver for Arana, I would have to play along.
At the end of the original game, Foster and Joey overthrew the previous totalitarian regime. Foster then left Joey in charge and returned to the Gap, which might not have been the brightest idea. Joey installed a number of ministries to make the people happy. Then he too left the city. Foster now finds himself on the Aspiration platform, part of the Ministry of Aspiration, a location where citizens can look down at the splendor below and aspire to rise in status and live in the lower level. The design of the ministries took inspiration from Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how an AI would try to understand human happiness. So initially, Joey implemented basic needs. The first was the Ministry of Plenty. Before Link was overthrown, there were severe food shortages. Food quotas had been slashed for the workers. Management had croutons removed from their salads. Joey gave people plenty to eat, to consume. Now people are given whatever they want, within their kudos level. Then, moving up the pyramid, the Ministry of Comfort. The previous regime was based on the idea of a Soviet communist state. A huge proportion of the population lived in squalor. Joey changed all of this. The water now runs hot, the power doesn't fail. People live comfortably. Then the Ministry of Safety, freedom from the tyranny of Link. The people had been afraid, so Joey created a huge, powerful security system with big guns to protect them. Having a population that was comfortable, healthy, and felt safe, the Ministry of Aspiration was created, encouraging happy behavior, enabling people to achieve their full potential through programs like Kudos, which rewards the good actions of citizens, and the construction of this platform to celebrate aspiration on this fine Aspiration Day. And finally, the highest level of human need, the Ministry of Well-being, ensuring happy thoughts, their social media always reflecting their opinions. And if they ever feel sad, then they go to the reflection spa to recover, to dream sweet dreams. All of these initiatives, from the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs to the top, must guarantee the utmost happiness for the people of Union City. A wonderful utopia for the happy citizens.
What's wrong with a good old elevator?
Welcome, Citizen Graham.
Where would you like to go?
take me to my apartment.
Certainly, Citizen Graham.
Oh, you must be Grundy. Graham Grundy?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Tarquin was telling me you and he had quite a crisis on your hands. The pair of you rescuing some poor wee mite from certain doom.
Well, I suppose.
How terribly inspiring for you. Oh, anyway, just look at the time. I fear I shall lose the best table. Sir Reginald Arthur Schnipple requires his daily tipple. No inspiration sans precipitation, what? Ha ha ha! Good day, Mr. Grundy.
Ahem.
She's quite the charmer. I can see why you married her.
Hey, Songbird.
Hello, husband.
Husband?
Graham is my dear husband.
What have you gotten yourself into this time, Foster?
Just go with it, Joey. We have an arrangement.
Strictly temporary, don't ask.
Is Alonso coming back here?
For both our sakes, I hope not. But I'm not risking it, so don't even think about doing anything stupid.
Nothing stupid? For how long?
Very amusing. Until my kudos is back on track, obviously. But for now, you are Graham.
Bye, Songbird.
Yeah, bye.
Welcome home. Your delivery has been placed in your domicile.
I could make anything look good.
You'll have everything squeaky clean soon, Rob. And wearing that, emphasis on the squeaky. Nice floor. Real modern. Looks like the other neighbor's conference room.
Welcome, Citizen Graham. Where would you like to go?
To the aspiration platform.
Of course, Citizen Graham. Enjoy the view. And don't forget to aspire to aspire.
Hey, what's with that frightened expression you're wearing?
Me again.
So I see. Excellent. You have your uniform. Oh, still the same trend, huh? Shame. On second thoughts, your droid does look rather antique. Are you sure it's up to the task?
This thing has a name?
Don't worry. We're thrilled to be here and ready to work hard.
Good. Waiting for you has already set my schedule back. So trust me, I'm thrilled to see you too. I shall be supervising the area preparations, should you require me. Unless there was anything else.
I really need to speak to Officer Orana.
Officer Arana is busy with preparations for the Gong. She has given specific instructions not to be disturbed.
Are you sure that room doesn't need cleaning too? We won't disturb her, I promise.
No way. I'm still waiting to be impressed by your cleaning down here.
If I was going to get to Arana, I'd need to prove to T that Joey and I were up to the task.
Wow, this place sure is a mess.
Joey, would you mind tidying up around here? We'll need to impress that droid if we want permission to speak to Arana.
Excuse me? Do I look like a cleaning droid?
You look exactly like a cleaning droid, Joey.
Yeah, well, appearances are deceptive.
Look, I know you're not a real cleaning droid, just like I'm not the real Graham Grundy.
Oh, so I should pretend to clean up the area?
No, I mean actually clean up the area.
Really, Foster? Must I?
Yes, and look like you're enjoying it.
Okay, but you owe me.
Joey, can you handle all this cleaning by yourself?
No way. We're supposed to be working together.
We are. I find the mess, you clean the mess.
I'm beginning to question this arrangement. One of those robots again. Please, just no more rats.
Joey, could you...
Yes, clean the whole area up. I get it.
Some old bunting had been left in the tree. Cleaning that up would surely impress Dee. Joey, old pal.
What's up?
Think you could do some more cleaning?
Oh, Foster, I would love to. Sadly, I don't see anything that needs to be cleaned.
Let's get back to it.
I'll supervise.
You may have noticed that there are many references to sausages in the game, and knackwurst in particular. This was inspired by a knackwurst sausage sandwich that Foster steals from Hobbins at the start of the original game. But in fact, that sandwich was inspired by the sausage and bacon butties that were served in a slot machine arcade below where Revolution had their original office in Hull. I got to know Hull quite well actually, because once a month or so, when working on Beneath the Steel Sky, I take the journey from my house up to their offices, and that involved me getting into London on a train and then taking a train from London to Doncaster, and then a kind of cattle truck from Doncaster to Hull. And Charles would meet me and we'd go into the office via the arcade where they made the bacon butties, and Charles would buy me a lovely big doorstep sandwich of beautifully cooked bacon, and after eating that I'd feel ready to do the creative work of the day.
Gangs were fearless creatures, until it came to getting wet.
Keep that water away from my circuit board.
It was a hand scanner.
Here, boy.
Nice gang. An empty bird's nest had been built in the heart of the tree.
No, stop it! You're making a mess! Joey, please, service, what are we to do? This avian invasion is a disaster. Look at the mess! Citizen Graham, to work.
Hey, at least the bird's gone, right? That's pretty impressive.
The vermin? The vermin is gone, but behold this! This looks like a war zone! To work! To work! Remember, cleanliness is next to Joey-ness.
Yes, that's always been my motto.
Fallen bunting had thrown T into a real state.
Joey, let's show this droid your true talent. Get to work on that bunting.
With pleasure. You know, Foster, I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. Oh, the bunting's tangled in my brushes. My motor! I think my motor is on fire! Foster, I'm too young and talented to die! Help!
Quick, Joey, stop, drop, and... Look, stop and drop! Hurry!
What's going on down there? I thought this platform was supposed to be... Officer Arana, I'm so sorry. The cleaning unit I was sent have proven to be wholly inadequate.
The cleaning unit? Hello?
Not what I'd had in mind, but my strategy had worked all the same. Now I could ask Arana about a travel waiver.
Orana, just the person I wanted to see.
Graham Grundy? What on earth are you doing here?
I wanted to ask you about something. So I came down here hoping I'd find you.
And you decided to get my attention by setting fire to this droid?
A happy accident.
I'm sure that T will clear this all up in good time. I'd better get on with my duties.
Of course. Hey, listen, before you go, I was hoping you could get me access to the recycling center in the industrial level. Area code E1594.
So that's what you were asking about earlier. I'm afraid that zone is prohibited, unless you have a travel waiver.
I know. Do you think you could authorize one for me?
Why would you want to go to there? It isn't safe for civilians.
It's about the missing child I told you about. I've been following some clues and...
Shouldn't that be reported to the appropriate ministry?
I've tried that, but no one seems to care.
I don't know. This is all very...
You've got to help me, please.
Okay. I'll authorize your travel waiver. But be careful.
Got it. Thank you, Arana.
There. I should get back to work. Keep a smile on your face.
At last, I had the waiver I needed. Next stop, Home Crescent Recycling Center.
Don't worry, pal. I've got you. Just gotta pull this
The gated area up top looked like some kind of VIP zone.
Welcome, Citizen Graham. Where would you like to go?
Take me to the Home Crescent Recycling Center.
Travel waiver accepted. Are you sure you want me to transport you to the industrial level?
Yes, I'm sure.
No one has ever asked me to take them up there before. Mind how you go, Citizen Graham.
The recycling center was located high in the city's industrial level. The place was filthy, noisy, and smelled terrible. If I was right about the tracker, then I'd find Lead here somewhere. But what was he doing with Graham in a place like this?
This section takes Foster back to the industrial level of Union City, an area that players of the original may recognize. Those players might remember starting here when Foster escaped from a helicopter crash and took refuge in a pipe factory, with the question, why me? Which is only answered right at the end of the game in a final twist. Something that we echo in this game. When I was at university in the early 1980s, I had the pleasure of living for a few years in Manchester's most notorious housing estate, Hume Crescent, described at the time as the worst housing project in Europe. To be fair to Manchester Council, they had condemned the building and were turning a blind eye to students who chose to live there, cheek by jowl with the city's drug dealers. A few years after I left, the council stumped up the money to demolish the whole complex, so sadly it is gone, but not forgotten. I took inspiration from and named the area in which the recycling plant is found, Hume Crescent, as a eulogy to many happy student memories.
This area is restricted. You should not be here.
It looked like the stun droid was guarding the whole process.
We were all looking forward to seeing what came out of this section. We knew its position and role within the story, and the criteria it needed to meet. But when it came to puzzle and character design, this area felt like an opportunity to get a little creative with some of the more bizarre personalities of Beyond the Steel Sky. Whilst Jimmy was a joy to write and develop, I was personally quite pleased with how Leak's security droid turned out. From a puzzle perspective, the droid had existed from the very beginning as a blocker to the player reaching the furnace. However, it wasn't until later down the line that Ross and I started to look at how we could squeeze some more character into the game. It seemed almost wasteful to not make the most of having a rich and quirky sci-fi world in which even toasters could have a voice. To give this droid a personality, we looked at what it needed to achieve. Joey, of course, would need to inhabit this shell later, and with it gain a new layer of confidence and brawn. The idea of a devout Christian crusader that wouldn't surrender under any circumstance seemed to really fit, and we could foresee a great opportunity for the voice acting to carry it home. I think it's rather evident that Monty Python's Black Knight was somewhat reincarnated in our crusty crusader.
you!
Whoa! Hello.
What do you want? You security?
No. I'm looking for a guy called Leet.
Well, you just found him. Leet's the name. Text the game. What can I do for you today?
It's about a friend of mine. A guy called Graham. I think you know him. I'm looking for some information.
What sort of information?
I need to know what he was doing here.
Listen, pal, I can barely remember my own name. Let alone every Tom, Dick and Graham that comes through here. I'll have to check my records.
Sure.
But, oh, my heat.
What's up? Are you okay?
Oh, it's my bleeding noggin. Need my medicine.
Your medicine?
Aye, my medicinal moonshine. It's over in the other building. Take this and fill it to the top. Then bring it back here.
And you'll check your records?
I will. You can trust me, pal.
An unspoken deal had been made. Leet wanted his moonshine. I wanted information. It was a rubber fish. Well, that had thrown a wrench in the works. Or to be more precise, a crowbar. It looked like the control panel for the conveyor belt and the crusher. The conveyor belt jolted to life and clunked and came to an abrupt stop.
You're for it now.
Well, that had thrown a wrench in the works. Or to be more precise, a crowbar. Was nicely stuck in the crusher. The whole mechanism was toast. How's your head?
'Tis but a scratch. This is your fault. I'll do you for that.
You're trapped in an industrial crusher.
I'm invincible.
No, you're defective.
I had to admire the droid's spirit, but it was defeated. The droid was no longer a threat. was struck by a wave of heat and burnt plastic. A blazing furnace lit the room, fed by a series of pipes leading into the roof.
The first game, Beneath the Steel Sky, started with Foster escaping into a pipe factory on the industrial level. So in the new game, Beyond the Steel Sky, we wanted to return to that level so that the player would have a feeling of familiarity and it would connect back for those who had played the first game. The way we used to work back in the days of Beneath the Steel Sky sounds rather primitive nowadays. I talked to Charles and the guys at Revolution, and we'd come up with what was required in the particular screens, in the particular areas that the game was taking place in. And I would draw the whole thing out in pencil, just on typing paper, and I'd fax it up to Charles and his team. They'd make their comments and any changes they wanted, and I'd then come up with eventually a final version. Then this final version would be sent to a guy called Les Pace, who was an animation artist. He specialised in painted backgrounds for drawn animation, cell animation, and he gave it all the texture and the lighting and everything that really brought it to life.
The gas that had been flowing through the pipes was clearly powering the furnace. The main ingredient of Leeds moonshine appeared to be spankles. I filled the bottle to the top. I hoped that would encourage Leeds to help me. The flames from the furnace were fierce.
One of the advantages of using an inertial tracking system for motion capture rather than a visual system is that it's easier to bring props into the scene and capture as normal. A visual system is probably the kind of mocap setup you've seen in making of documentary footage. It uses an array of cameras set up surrounding the performer, and those cameras track dots placed all over the performer's suit. If those dots are covered by a prop, then some of the cameras can't see some of the dots, and you lose data and risk getting an inaccurate animation. Inertial tracking sensors are also attached to a mocap suit. Ours has 17 of them, and you don't need cameras as the sensors themselves send motion data to software that interprets it. So, the designers had an actual toy Bilby in the office, which we borrowed for capturing Poppy's animations. Now, Poppy has this background where she's been through reflections, but maybe has been rescued partway through treatment by Graham. So she has this mix of bad memories from Reflection's brainwashing program, but at the same time it's a treatment that's supposed to make the children happy, so she's laughing inappropriately. What we wanted was a pretty disturbing effect overall. Our lead scripter, Nina, described to me how Poppy might play with her toy Bilby and act out bad memories stirred up by reflections on her toy, like a child giving their bear a play injection to process their own difficult feelings around visiting the doctor. It was much easier having an actual toy of about the right size to act with, rather than miming playing with an invisible toy. Other objects the team have used as props during mocap include bananas, broom handles, a hard suitcase, and a kettlebell, all helping us either get into character or to generate animation with the right sense of weight and gravity. On a different note, watch out for when Poppy picks her nose in her idle animation.
At one point, we planned to have Foster return to the pipe factory. The original pipe factory was inspired by a story from the time about a local company called Forge Masters that was caught producing what they claimed were pipes for the dictator of Iraq, Saddam Hussein. And it turned out that actually, far from being pipes, they were elements of a supergun that could be screwed together and was going to be used for firing missiles at Israel. Obviously, once the news broke, there was a terrible scandal, and those pipes were not sent to Iraq, thankfully. But yes, that is the basis and the inspiration for the original pipe factory.
Hi there, Lee.
Oh, sorry. I was away with the fairies there. Any progress with my moonshine?
You're in luck. I've got it right here.
I knew that old security droid wasn't up to much.
He won't be bothering you anymore.
Good man. Now give me that bottle. So, what do you want to know?
Do you know anything about missing children?
No.
I've been tracking a child across the gap, and the trail ends here, in the city.
Can I help you?
You can't? I'm sure Graham was connected somehow.
Hang on. Did you say you were in the gap? How did you even get into the city?
Well, I got one of those visitor U-chips.
You've got a visitor U-chip?
Yeah? So?
Is that why you came to see Old Lead?
Kinda. I'm having some issues with my U-chip. Can you help?
You bet. It's what I do.
Well, there's a weird security flag on Graham's ID. Maybe that's why I can't access his messages.
Oh?
And every time someone scans my U-chip, they notice the error. A mentor from the Ministry of Well-Being is investigating it right now.
You what? And you came here? You know they can track those things, right?
I, guess.
We need to get that flag removed immediately. This could bring down my entire operation.
Right. What do you need me to do?
Quick! Get your hand on my workbench, now!
Why is it so tight?
To stop you getting away, you idiot!
What's the cleaver for?
What do you think? One more U-chip for my trade, and 2 more thumbs for my collection. Now hold still, while I focus on your wee digits.
I had to think fast. There had to be something within reach that I could use.
I'm worried.
The rubber fish just bounced off the guy's face.
That's one more thumb for Jimmy the Thumbs.
Why is it so tight?
To stop you getting away, you idiot!
What's the cleaver for?
What do you think? One more U-chip for my trade, and 2 more thumbs for my collection. Now hold still, while I focus on your wee digits.
I had to think fast. There had to be something within reach that I could use.
Usually it takes a bit of flim-flam.
I smashed the bottle over the guy's head.
Idiot! Nobody's ever got the best of Jimmy the Thumbs. Until now.
So, you aren't Lead then?
I never said I was.
Oh yes you did. You maniac.
Everyone's got to have a hobby.
What's wrong with stamp collecting?
They call me Jimmy the Thumbs, pal. Not Jimmy the Philatelist.
Thumbs? That's what you're after?
And the U-chips, but mostly the thumbs.
What do you even do with them?
Just collect them. I like the approval they give me.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're crazy. Now, tell me where to find Leet. The real Leet.
He's hiding out. In a place too hot for the likes of you. Folks call it the... Hellfire Club.
Save your riddles, Jimmy.
And with that, Jimmy passed out. Looked like I'd have to find the real Leet on my own. A model unicorn had been made out of plasticine. There was a strange smell of almonds. I realized what the unicorn was made out of. Plastic explosive.
Plastic explosive.
I, human. It was some sort of fuse box or switchboard. The box was corroded and wouldn't open. The wheel was long since broken. I couldn't turn the valve off this way. The old sign was an anchor held by a hastily fastened cable. It had seen better days.
The anchor is a nod to one of the characters in the original game, the insurance broker William Anchor. Back in the 1980s, the cult of the yuppie emerged. Young, upwardly mobile professional people who talk endlessly about how rich they were and other dull things. William Anchor encapsulated yuppiness in all its horror. His insurance policy was intended to protect humans against the threat of a rogue AI, actually highly prescient given the story of Beyond a Steel Sky, although we only realise this retrospectively. Whilst the character of William Anchor doesn't appear in the game, his emblem lives on, and, as before, you find yourself cutting it down.
It was a heavy-duty throw switch. The pipe had been cracked by the falling anchor. Gas was leaking out. The sign was no longer a hazard, but the gas sure was. The pipe had been cracked by the falling anchor. Gas was leaking out. The light fitting had been ripped from the wall, and the bulb smashed. It was a heavy-duty throw switch. Flames had died down, but the smell of burning waste still filled the air. Behind the furnace, I could now see a ladder leading up to a room. The furnace was now off.
Lead?
Lead!
Huh? Hey kid, are you all right?
Lead! 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 Lead!
Oh. Is that,
What?
a Shreedman port?
Let me guess. Leet?
Lead!
Yeah. Hold your bill, be Poppy. Grown-ups are talking. Now, you. Why are you pretending to be Graham Grundy?
How do you know that?
My system flags every U-chip that walks through that door. And you are not Graham.
Correct.
Is he dead?
Yes.
Did you kill him?
No. I just borrowed his ID.
I see. Okie dokie then. Start talking.
I'm looking for a boy called Milo. He was kidnapped 2 nights ago. I tracked him here, to Union City.
Hey, Poppy! You know a boy called Milo?
Bilby!
Not Bilby. Milo! Ah, forget it.
Okay, so what's your connection to Graham Grundy?
Graham? Oh, he was just an acquaintance. How do you know about me and him, anyway?
Graham's wife mentioned you by name.
She what? And I suppose she told you where to find me?
No, that bit was easy. I just used the tracker.
Whoa! A tracker?
Yes, a toy tracker. In that Bilby.
Bilby!
Songbird's building had somehow ended up in the young girl's hands.
Oh, Graham! You amateur!
Sounds like he was more than just an acquaintance.
All right, I did know him. I'm the genius who put the masked demon and the data blocker on his ID. I took in the girl when he brought her to me when I knew I shouldn't have. Her name's Poppy. She's a Gaplander. Bilby toy tracker. Stupid, soft-hearted, stupid Graham.
Who's the girl?
Her name's Poppy. She's a Gaplander. Graham brought her here. Told me he'd found her wandering around somewhere.
Like kidnapping?
Jeez! Who said anything about kidnapping? No. He was trying to help her. He thought she might be connected.
Connected to what?
Everything. Or maybe nothing.
Well, that narrows it down.
Listen, pal. Graham had a loop, and he kept me out of it.
How do I know you're really elite?
Said I was, didn't I?
The last guy I met told me he was elite, and that didn't end well.
Ah, that'd be Jimmy.
He tried to cut off my thumbs.
Sounds like Jimmy. Deep down, he means well.
You said you put a data blocker on Graham's ID.
Yes, but a fat lot of good it does when you tell everybody about me. Hey, Graham?
Why did Graham want his own data blocked?
Hell if I know. I run a tech service, not a chat show. He wanted two things from me. First was something to hide his own data from. Prying eyes.
And the second thing?
A way out of the city. Just for a day. Being an absolute bleeding genius, I manage both. Hence the masked demon.
Okay, so if I want to find out what's going on here, I need to get rid of Graham's data blocker, yes?
Yes.
Can you remove it?
Oh. Yes. But no. Graham's little disappearing act has totally messed with my mojo. Whole new level of security has been added to the Minos Gateway. I can't get in without my masked demon triggering every damn security protocol ever invented. Can't get rid of my masked demon without getting in. Basically, I'm saying Minos is out and it's a link space thing. You wouldn't understand.
You remember link space?
Yes, finally! I was beginning to think I was the only one in this city with a brain. That said, you may be the only one in the city with a Shriman port. Which means, oh ho ho! Today might turn out to be a good day after all. Let me show you something. Follow me.
Is that a link chair?
It absolutely is.
And I suppose you want me to sit in it.
You've got a problem with your ID. I've got a problem with mine. The solution to both our problems lies in Minos. But thanks to Graham's selfish inability to not die, I can't access the system.
So how do we get in?
Via link space. There's a back door into Minos. Now, I'm the only man in this city with a functioning link space chair. And today, the only man in the world with a functioning Shriman port walks through my back door. I need you to do this. You need you to do this. Poppy needs you to do this. The universe needs you to do this.
The data blocker on Graham's account was stopping me finding out more about him. It sounded like Leet really could help me get rid of it. I needed to do what he said.
So you need me to reach Minos through link space?
Correct. Ready to strap in?
Yeah, why not? What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, buddy. You'd be surprised.
Leet?
Relax. You've done this before, right?
A long time ago.
Hey, it's like riding a bike. First thing you gotta do, make your way through link space to the Minos portal.
Is it easy to find?
Maybe, maybe not. But link space should be completely empty these days.
Minos portal. Then what?
Find your way to the ID data center. Bring up the accounts of Graham Grundy and Elliot Richardson.
Whoa. Who's Elliot Richardson?
Duh. Elliot. Lead.
Gotcha. What's next?
Eliminate the masked demons and the data blockers on both our accounts. Piece of pie. Easy as cake. Got it?
Get to Minos, then clear your software from our accounts. It's really that simple?
Uh-huh. You'll figure it out. You seem like a bright spark. Now, let's fire this baby up. Can't wait to see if she still works. Hey?
Whoa, still works. What are you...
Okay, hold on to your brain.
How am I supposed to...
I meant figuratively.
It seemed that link space wasn't going to be the easy route Lee thought it was. The system had been abandoned, but they'd had the wherewithal to leave a firewall. I had to find a way through.
OmniGaffer repairs firewall damage to network structure. Download complete. Extinguisher temporarily overrides firewall programs for access to mainframe. Download complete.
Seemed like just the thing to deal with the firewall.
Relaxing security protocols.
The program did the trick.
Shutdown. Virus detected.
Or so I thought.
From the early 2000s, Beneath a Steel Sky was only playable because it was available through ScumVM. We decided to make the game free because ScumVM had very generously converted it without any cost to Revolution. More by luck than judgment, this turned out to be a brilliant marketing strategy. Millions and millions of people played the game, which attracted a whole new generation to the series.
Blindfold counter-intrusion countermeasure. The author does not accept liability for brain damage.
The blind program was a short-lived but powerful tool for sneaking through security. the eye blinded, I didn't need to worry about it frying my brain.
Quick Decrypt, a decryption routine for all standard UCSI coded files. Download complete.
I wasn't sure what I'd use it for, but I didn't want to leave it behind.
In the second game, Beyond the Steel Sky, we had the luxury of full 3D modelling and animation, but for the original Beneath the Steel Sky, we were a little more primitive in our approach. We actually had to design the characters as sprites, which were really just collections of coloured pixels, a bit like computer Lego, and they were very limited in the number we could have and in the colours we could use. And I actually created the characters using an Amiga computer and a program called D-Paint, Deluxe Paint. And I really enjoyed that process because sometimes, you know, technical limitations actually force you to be more creative. And I really found that this was a really good way to work. And I was very much helped by a guy called Steve Oates, who was a pixel animator. And he gave me lots of tips on how to best use the available colours and shapes to produce the characters.
Divine Wrath will destroy instances of the Helix virus. Warning, data will be unrecoverable. Download complete.
The Helix virus sounded familiar for some reason. Virus expunged from link space, I hope I'd be able to get into Minos. The decryption program seemed to do the trick. The data had downloaded, probably via my port to Leet's terminal.
Beneath the Steel Sky was originally written for Amiga and PC, which at that time had MS-DOS as its operating system. When Microsoft changed to Windows, limited support for MS-DOS was offered for a time, but this was phased out, so by 1998 the game could no longer be played on available hardware. the game seemed destined to drift into obscurity. But then we were approached by a group of adventure enthusiasts who came together in 2001 to create a project that they christened ScumVM after the LucasArts Adventure engine, which would allow adventures to be converted to run on then current and future hardware. A team of 3 programmers undertook the work of converting Beneath the Steel Sky to run under ScumVM, one of whom, Joost Peters, is now our CTO. Without ScumVM, Beyond the Steel Sky would never have happened. We really do owe them a huge debt of gratitude.
The firewall program had detected a virus. Apparently that was enough to send it into overdrive.
Relaxing security protocols. Firewall shutdown complete.
The firewall was down. I could access Minos.
Accessing archive data.
There appeared to be a recording on the data I picked up.
Error. Unknown biological agent in core. Intruder detected. Overman chamber. Biomatrix replacement confirmed. Error. Deleting file. Overman.brain. Deleting file. Link control.brain. Upload file. Joey.awesome.
Link was going to replace my father's dying brain with mine. If Joey hadn't sat in that chair, it would have gotten me too.
According to my NOS data, please wait. Compatible program found. Retro Fashion Boutique. Order submitted.
Hello?
Good evening. I am the Greta AI system in charge of this Minos channel. How can I help you today?
I'm looking for the ID data center. Am I in the right place?
Indeed you are. Citizen identification is under my jurisdiction. Are you having an issue with ID privileges?
Can you access some specific citizens? I need to check out the programs running on their IDs.
That's easily done. Who would you like to check?
Check Graham Grundy and Elliot Richardson.
Retrieving.
Excellent. Can we delete the programs that are running here?
No problem at all. That will of course require administrator approval. Would you like one summoned?
No, that's okay.
Administrator cancelled.
But I can move programs between users.
That's right. Ancillary AI systems like yourself do have move access, but no delete or create commands.
That gives me something to work with at least. Thanks, Greta.
Happy to help.
My avatar was overloaded with the program data. I doubted the smaller ones could support the larger. I needed to arrange them in size order. I doubted the smaller ones could support the larger. I needed to arrange them in size order. I doubted the smaller ones could support the larger. I needed to arrange them in size order. I doubted the smaller ones could support the larger. I needed to arrange them in size order. I doubted the smaller ones could support the larger. I needed to arrange them in size order. I doubted the smaller ones could support the larger. I needed to arrange them in size order. Greta, you got a minute?
My time is infinite.
Bye.
Keep up the good work.
doubted the smaller ones could support the larger. I needed to arrange them in size order. I'd remove all the programs running on leads and my own ID.
Command. Save changes.
Changes saved. Beginning propagation to external servers.
So you're saying Agio City isn't real?
No. It's real, all right. But all the adverts and tourist boards, a total lie. It's being plundered by the council, like a piñata at a kid's party.
Hey, look who's waking up.
Joey?
Check out my new threads.
But... how?
This weird guy fixed me.
Yeah, I went through your bag while you were asleep. Found my old cleaver in there as well. Thank you. But never mind that. I was monitoring your progress while you were in there. Looks like you nailed both our data problems.
So my ID should be cleared then?
Your ID. My access to Minos. Result.
I thought you said link space was empty. It had a major virus.
The Helix virus? That's still going? Glad I didn't have to deal with that.
Late!
1 second, Poppy.
Hey, where's her Bilby?
Shh. I got the Bilby away from her while you were in link space. Managed to slip it into your purse without her noticing. Dump it in the incinerator when you leave.
It's not a purse. It's a satchel. What were you and Joey talking about as I was waking up?
Foster, you should hear this guy. He's a proper nut job.
Says the droid with a god complex.
That's not a complex. I am a god. Anyway, ask him about some of his theories. They are wildly entertaining. And by entertaining, I of course mean fascinating and informative.
Okay. Theory of evolution. What is all that about? Where's the controlled experiment, right? Duh!
Did I hear you say Agio City?
Don't get me started. When I found out about Agio City, that was the last straw.
What happened?
You've seen the land trains. They're coming directly from Agio City. Or what's left of it.
What do you mean?
We destroyed it. An entire metropolis converted to scrap. And the people forced into the gap.
That's terrible.
All while the people of Union City get fat off its remains. And the council call them our allies.
Boy, seeing all this old tech takes me back.
Haha! Still the best, isn't it? I mean, sure, reboots are fine, but they're never a patch on the original.
Amen to that. Good luck, and thanks.
Same to you. By the way, you never told me your name.
Foster. Robert Foster.
Drum. Joey drop.
I don't expect I'll see the two of you again.
Where are you going? Will Poppy be okay?
After what you just did in Link Space? Absolutely. Anyway, I've had enough of this city. I've been planning my exit strategy for months. Just a few hours' time, I'm heading out of this happy cesspool of fake smiles, spankles, and secrets.
Late!
And I'm taking Poppy with me. Get her back to her family in the Gap.
Take her out of the city? How?
It's all about the kudos.
You think it'll get her through the city gates?
I'm still working on it.
Late!
If she can shut up for 5 minutes.
Everything I'd learned from Leet made me wonder. Maybe all along, Graham was one of the good guys. At least now, with the data blocker removed from his ID, I'd be able to look deeper into his life.
Hey, Foster, where are we dropping?
Back to Graham's apartment for some good old-fashioned detective work.
Lead the way.
Graham's data was now unblocked. I hoped that would help me move forward. It was another hand scanner. These things were beginning to make me nervous. Leet's super terminal was quite a piece of reclaimed tech. A scrapped robot that looked past its prime.
It's on this first visit to the recycling plant that we want the player to start to feel really uneasy about what's going on in the city, and particularly to feel concerned about Milo's jeopardy. We designed the section and wrote the exchange with Leet, but it still wasn't dramatic enough. We experimented with having Milo appear in broadcasts, but the timeline wasn't convincing. There simply wouldn't have been enough time since he was snatched from his village. So our solution was to add a runaway girl, Poppy, who demonstrates what would happen to a child that goes through memory augmentation, and so what will happen to Milo unless Foster finds him.
I had a lot of fun designing the characters for the game. I produced literally hundreds and hundreds of designs, and we were able to do it very, very quickly using modern technology rather than in the days of having to use fax machines and jump on trains and things to be able to talk to each other. And what I would basically do is just rough out many iterations, 10, 12, maybe 20 different ideas as they occurred to me, done very quickly, but with the digital equivalent of pencil on paper. I would use a piece of software called Sketchbook Pro, and I'd draw on screen on a Wacom Cintiq tablet, and then just click send. So as quickly as I could draw them, they would arrive at Revolution's offices, and they'd be able to see just how things were going, and they were able to tell me which ones they liked the best and give me suggestions as to how I could improve the designs. So that really was good fun. And I mean, Leet was a good example of that. I must have done probably 40 different versions of it. All kinds of different clothing and hairstyles and facial hair and posture and degrees of fatness or thinness. And I wanted to kind of come up with a sort of an enigmatic kind of tech wizard who was visually interesting but didn't fall completely into the cliche of the nerdy programmer. He's just one example of the many characters, and I've lost count of how many characters and how many thousands of drawings there's been now. But they were all a lot of fun, and they all became, as it were, friends of mine.
Let's keep moving.
Waiting on you, Rob.
Welcome, Citizen Graham. Where would you like to go?
Take me to my apartment.
Certainly, Citizen Graham.
Don't get any ideas, monster. Just because it has arms doesn't make it better than me.
Charles and I first met when he came to Belfast, where my company is based, and did a talk about narrative gaming and the history of Revolution as a company. And quite honestly, it was a dream come true for me. I had grown up playing a lot of the Revolution games. I was a big fan of the Broken Swords. I was especially a big fan of Beneath the Steel Sky, which came out in, I think, 1990. So I would have played these as a kid. And then we got to talking, and I casually mentioned that, something that he had done was an inspiration for a game that I had made, which was called Hector, Badge of Carnage series. It was released by Telltale. There were 3 episodes made, and it was sort of like a grown-up version of the point-and-click adventure, sort of rebooting the genre for the smartphone generation. Well, Charles, when he heard Hector, he perked up. And it turned out that while I was a fan of his games, he and his kids were a fan of the one game that I had made at that time. And he really liked the dialogue, he really liked the just the attitude of the entire thing. And we developed a friendship from there. Now, moving on from there, we were both working on different games. We got to talking about this new top-secret game that he was working on, which was a reboot of Beneath the Steel Sky. And there was no way I could pass up something like this. So I started speaking to him about whether or not I could be involved. It turned out he thought that I had the spark that would give the same sort of feeling of sarcasm and irreverence as the original writer for Beneath the Steel Sky, bringing that back into the new generation. And so there I was, several years later, after just attending a talk, I got to travel with Charles to visit Dave Gibbons, and the 3 of us sat in a room in Dave Gibbons' house, and surrounded by Watchmen and all the comics that he's ever touched upon, and paraphernalia from the show and from the movie, and really it was this strange, surreal, unbelievable experience to have thought of these 2 guys creating one of the fundamental games of my formative years, and now to be in a room helping, being a part of the team that was going to reboot this session. It was really quite something, and I had to occasionally pinch myself to realize who exactly I was sitting in the room with.
That is one big fun.
Excuse me, Songbird?
Hey, stranger.
That's all for now.
Yeah, bye.
Hey, I remember these things. You always wanted them all set. Weren't there 4 of them? Where's Captain Bilby? He's the best one. Someone looks angry.
The plinth was showing the toy's tracking data. Thankfully, Graham's mail access was restored. I hoped it would help me figure out more about who this guy was. Whoever unknown author was, had sent Graham an attachment for the holoplinth. There was one thing I was sure of. That was not a bonsai tree. Plinth was showing the toy's tracking data. The image being displayed on the holoplinth had changed. The HoloLens now projected fragmented data. Whoever had sent me this email attachment was trying to tell Graham something. But what? I swapped the lens for the broken one from the lockbox. It was a secret message. Aspiration Gala. Midnight. Be there. The gala. That's tonight. And I need to be there.
Excuse me, Songbird?
Hey, stranger.
So you're supposed to go to this aspiration gala?
I prefer the term destined. After all these years, finally a high enough kudos level to get me to high places. The Aspiration Gala. This is my chance to soar. The sort of kudos levels that are gonna be there. My social status will skyrocket.
Sounds like fun.
This isn't some kid's birthday party. is about dragging myself out of the gutter and moving one step closer to the lower level.
That's all for now.
Yeah, bye.